Welcome back to the news at 10. And now to the letter of Chief Tom Ikimi to the APC National Chairman John Oyegun. Barely 24 hours after he announced his exit from the APC, Chief Tom Ikimi, in what he tagged his reflections on his former party, has given hard knocks not only to the leadership of the APC, but also the party itself, calling the APC undemocratic and lacking the capacity to wrest power from the ruling PDP. Our correspondent Charles Zeruka takes a look at the issues raised by Chief Ikimi's letter.
Yet another seeming controversial letter from another leading politician has found its way into the public domain. Its author, none other than former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Chief Tom Ikimi. Basically, it's an explanation of his shock resignation from the All Progressives Congress, the APC, the country's leading opposition party. And from the outset, he places the blame for his exit squarely on the doorstep of one of the party's founding fathers and former Lagos State Governor, Chief Bola Tinubu. He begins by questioning the source of Tinubu's reputed stupendous wealth and his vaunted political leadership of Southwest politics. According to Chief Ikimi, it is the reckless self-aggrandizement that led to the imposition of a strange leadership on the APC in July, when the party obtained registration from INEC to the detriment of those who had worked to achieve the merger that led to its creation. He says major decisions in the APC were being taken by Tinubu and his cohorts, and any party member who desired relevance had to belong to this group. Another set of power brokers fingered by Tom Ikimi are the APC governors, who he says are determined to take control of the party. The third group he mentions in the power equation is the known presidential aspirants, including General Muhammadu Buhari and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, given the APC's inclination to zone the presidency to the north. Also coming in for some hard knocks is the APC's selection of a new national chairman at its national convention, a process Chief Ikimi describes as a sham in which he refused to participate. The APC's national chairman, Chief John Oyegun, also comes in for some stick over statements credited to him, criticizing Chief Ikimi's displeasure with his emergence as party leader and threats to quit APC. He accuses Chief Oyegun of being a serial party defector since 1999, and so moving from one party to another should not be strange to him. And while pointing out that though many of the key members of the party agree that the Tinubu mystique is damaging to the APC's image, Chief Ikimi says he is amazed that no one dares to challenge the man. He says the party has virtually collapsed or is collapsing in several states, including Adamawa, Edo, Ogun, Oyo, Lagos, and Nasarawa. Chief Tom Ikimi describes the present atmosphere in the APC as being fraught with envy, plots, and gossip. He concludes by saying he is currently critically re-examining the two dominant political parties, the PDP and APC, both of which he has a close working knowledge. Well, it's probably not too difficult to guess the direction in which the wind might blow. Charles Zeruka for Channels Television News.
Now, to discuss the exit of Chief Ikimi and its implications moving forward, I'm now being joined on the News at 10 by legal practitioner Mr. Jiti Ogunye. Thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here today.
I believe you've read Chief Ikimi's letter.
I have read the letter.
What do you make of it?
I think the letter is an epistle of Chief Tom Ikimi's personal frustration about his loss of influence and position in the APC. He started off in the letter by saying that I worked so assiduously and very hard as the head of an 89-member merger committee in the party, and he worked so hard. And of course, he had the basic expectation that eventually he might emerge as the chairman of the party. Indeed, he indicated in the letter that he had told the governor of Edo State that he wanted to be the chairman of the party. And obviously that his co-Edo man, in the person of Chief John Oyegun, that he looked down upon as somebody who don't spend too much time in the party and therefore ought not to have been thrown up to be the chairman of the party, as he might be the chairman of the party. He is angry.
But
he's venting his spleen on his party, wanting to wreak the maximum damage whilst leaving the party.
Is it all about his frustration and his anger, really? Let's just look at some of the major issues which he has, which other members seem to have as well. And I'm going to quote something that he said. He said, "It's truly amazing that all who I've spoken to privately agree with me that the image of the APC as a Tinubu party has severely damaged the party, but each time I challenge the consequences, everybody keeps quiet." Is this a fair assessment of what's going on in the APC?
I don't think so. Look, if you look at the APC, let's look at the CPC. The last that was conducted presidential election, the presidential candidate of the party from the CPC had 12 million votes in that presidential election. Okay, so if you look at the component units of the APC, what they call the legacies parties, you see that it is not right to describe that party as a Tinubu party, really, because there are other persons who are in the party who are equal stakeholders.
But of course, he also talked about the mass exodus. Another key issue for him is not just him leaving, but the particular mass exodus that they're seeing as at now, and the idea that, well, whoever leaves is not going to be missed.
Now, the letter seems to be complaining about what is happening to everybody, but when you talk about the mass exodus from the APC or from the PDP to the APC and so on and so forth, it's essentially the character of Nigerian politics of this time: cross-carpeting, decampment, party prostitution, power-mongering, hunting for positions and power, not politics of principles. And so it's easy for politicians in this climb to cross from one party to the other. And I can give a quick example here. I'm not even talking about Tom Ikimi, giving the hint that he might land somewhere else. Rebadu, in Oyo State today, Lanley, Senator, APC. He was in PDP, he was in AD, he was in ACN now, and in Ogun State, the current governor was in ANPP, he was in PDP, he was in ACN, he's still in ACN. And so across the board, you see politicians hunting for power.
Okay,
whatever vehicle will be available to them to achieve their objective, they will jump on that vehicle.
Okay, let's bring it back home now. Is this what you were expecting of an opposition that hoped to rescue Nigerians from the clutches of the PDP, as they usually put it? Is the picture you see now of the way it's going, is this what you were expecting of a viable opposition?
No, I don't think that this political party will rescue Nigeria from one another or each other. Because essentially, you're talking about political parties whose ideology are almost identical. And that brings me back to the letter of Chief Tom Ikimi. Chief Tom Ikimi has not raised in his letter any ideological matter. He's not raised any issue of theoretical disagreement. He is saying, I wanted to be in a position and I was shortchanged. Now you've had it all, and so on and so forth. So essentially, the discourse is not about where, for example, a Democratic Party in the United States will stand and where the Republican Party stands on immigration, on budget, on almost everything. So
you think it's all individual then?
Exactly.
All right, so at that point, we're going to have to leave it. Thank you so much, GT Ogunye, legal practitioner, for joining us on the News at 10.
Yes.
Now, when the News at 10 returns, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry has advised against a blanket order on lending by commercial banks, and that will be on Business News. Do join us again.